What's up guys, Beard Gaming, you're back with some more AFK Journey, and today we're going to be going over the next hero that's going to be coming out this week, Sinbad. He is a light bearer, he is an A level hero, and we're going to be breaking down and talking about, is this hero even worth considering for day one? Now granted, we're going to be building him to max on our main account, we're going to see what he can do, but today we're actually going to go back and we're going to reference one of our videos from the test server when we actually had access to him. So I'm going to jump over to here. We're going to full screen this too, so I'm technically my face is behind here too, but we kind of want to take a look and see what his skill set looks like, because that's one thing we don't have access to right now, but we did have it when we were on the test server, which is extremely helpful. So let's start off with his main ultimate ability, Whizzing Edge. It has a passive and an active portion of it. The passive says deals normal attack damage and his casting speed is affected by both attack speed and haste. When he does activate it, he lands as many hits as possible on the enemy for 3 seconds. After these successive hits, he delivers one final strike. So this is a really cool ability. It's very reminiscent of what Lily May does, where she's dashing all over the battlefield, hitting enemies. His damage actually is pretty good here, and while he's dashing around, his survivability seems pretty solid as well. His first regular ability, Tracker's Instinct, says 6 seconds into the battle, he vaults behind his allies and starts assessing the enemy's strength. He marks the enemy dealing the most damage as the hitter and the one most taken damage as the guard. These marks will last for 30 seconds, and then he charges at the hitter, aka the one dealing the most damage, dealing damage 4 times and reducing their attack. So that one that's doing tons of damage to your team is going to be lowered. Then he takes on the guard effect, or the guard enemy, dealing the same damage 4 times and increasing the damage that guard target does take by 25%. Both debuffs expire at their respective mark ending, and if the marked enemy here is defeated, when it expires, Sinbad starts a new assessment and becomes unaffected. So this is really cool, because this does go up even higher in the numbers. I think if I actually play it right here, we might actually see the numbers go a little bit higher on this one. But essentially what's happening here is, the downside is these debuffs only work at a 20% rate against bosses. So like Dream Realm and stuff, it's still going to be additional damage that boss takes, but it's also going to be increased survivability for your team. So you might be able to use him as a hybrid damage dealer, buffer, and just like support hero almost, because again, it's not a huge amount. 20% of 50 is what, only 10%. So you are lowering the boss's damage by 10% attack, which actually goes up even further. You saw right there, it goes up to 60. And then of course, damage taken goes up to 40%, but only 20% is at 8%. So it's like Reinier, but not quite as good. You're going to be able to deal 8% additional damage to the boss. Is it a Reinier substitute? Absolutely not, but Reinier isn't always used in situations. Sometimes we use some damage reduction like Coco, and he might be somewhat viable and kind of like a substitute in that situation. We'll just have to see how that plays out. Now further on here, we do need to go over to Duo Cut. So this is just another one of his basic abilities, 1 range on it. Swings a double-headed blade, deals damage, doesn't do much of anything else. When we move on over to the hero's focus here, we're increasing his attack speed. And remember, both his attack speed and his haste do affect his overall casting speed of abilities, which is really cool. And then we do get a little bit more powerful. So when he does get to Mythic Plus for his exclusive, he studies the enemies of the hitter and the guard to strengthen those types of debuffs. If the hitter deals more normal attack damage, Sinbad's debuff will also reduce their attack speed, and then if it deals more skill damage, the debuff will reduce their energy efficiency as well on the guard target, aka the one that's taking more damage now. If they depend more on healing from allies or themselves, Sinbad will also reduce their vitality. If you guys don't know what vitality does, go check it out in the game. It lowers the base, or vitality affects the healing target receives. If they rely more on damage mitigations, which most likely is going to be for Dream Realm bosses, it also reduces their physical and magic defense. Now that part is really good, because that is not reduced by any percentage or anything like that. So that is like really solid here. I'm kind of excited to see how this works out in some Dream Realm teams, because I think he will become viable at some point. The problem is he's a light bearer. Light bearers don't fit into faction bonuses very well. Really, the only time he's really going to shine a ton, I think, is in Vala situations. So maybe running like Alenia, Vala, Sinbad, Kruger and then like someone else for like a faction bonus or something could be pretty good, but it is a little disappointing. You will see also though, if the enemy marked is the hitter or guard with 2 consecutive assessments, it also reduces their attack even further, and they do take 5% additional damage, which is really, really cool. And last but not least, I think we show it here too, right? Oh, maybe not. I don't know if I showed the Supreme Plus in this video. Oh wait, we did for a brief second. The Supreme Plus is basic. Deals additional damage to the marked targets. That's about it. But we'll show you guys here in a combat. We had him in the combat right here. Watch him here. He's going to go up. He's going to attack, and then he's going to jump to the back. He's not going to do anything. He's going to mark the enemies, and then he starts dashing around the battlefield. You can see him zipping all over the place. He can still take damage during it, so it's not like invulnerable like Lily May has. But you can see he's jumping around an absolute ton. So that is what his abilities actually look like. Now, what I want to show you guys next is something from Pridewin. Again, make sure you guys join their Discord, check out their website. We're going to take a look, see what he looks like overall. Now, this was ranked based on the test server when he was active on the Pioneer server. He's a specialist because, again, he's not a pure supporter. He's not a pure damage dealer. He can do a little bit of everything. Overall, if we're talking about AFK stages, deficit pushing, he's really not great. B tier, it might as well be C tier, honestly. Not going to be doing much at all. If we jump over to battle drills though, he does get a little bit better because of course he is going to be going up against some bosses in battle drills, so that is where he can potentially shine very, very well. This one's going to be really good. Dream Realm. So he is an S tier, not quite S plus. He's not like the best of the best. However, if you do like this hero and you want to make use of him, he will be an excellent supporter. He's lowering attack speed. He's increasing damage taken by the boss. He's also reducing their physical and magic defense. So he's kind of like a Kruger type hero. He might actually just take over Kruger's spot in a lot of those teams with Lenya. We'll just have to see how that plays out. He does have potential because I think he's going to do more damage than what Kruger does. Because if we take a look at Kruger, again, Kruger kind of falls in the same exact category here. So I think Sinbad is going to basically potentially take his spot, but we'll have to see. And then lastly, PvP. He actually performs pretty decently in PvP as well. Not anything godly, not anything amazing, but he's still a very, very solid hero. So let me know what you guys think about this hero. I think he potentially can be good for your account. However, if you're looking for another Lily May, if you're looking for another Lenya, we need to wait and see because he does have some places that he's going to be really good. You can see him dashing around, hitting that highest damage dealing enemy, picking them apart, and then moving on to the next one. And he does just have some really cool style points. We already have the skin if you guys completed the full campaign already. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. We'll have a ton of videos coming up to showcase this hero, and I'll see you guys next time.